pretty. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Rick, can you hear us? You're on mute.
You're on mute, Rick.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry about that. Yeah, Rick Rivera with Partner Colorado, Community Relations Manager. Thank you.
Armando. You're on mute, Armando.
Armando Payan, Glowville.
Armando. Angela.
Angela Garcia, Global resident.
Slavisa.
Nwca Park Consulting on National Western Stock Show.
Becca.
Hello, Rebecca Trio, longtime Globeville resident and also a part of Globeville First.
I cannot see that name. Woman. Can you help me? Which one? Please get it out with it. Jen? Is it Jen? Jen?
Hi,
No.
Jen Winkler,
I'm sorry.
GS Coalition Land Committee, Nwca, and I'm on the Community Outreach Work Group.
Thank you. AE, are you in a meeting? I think so, usually she is. Okay, did I get everybody in the group? Is there
We
one?
do have GS Coalition, I'm not sure who that is.
The
Oh, it's
person who
not.
is on GES Coalition, would you introduce yourself?
Oops, sorry. This is Nola Miguel from GS Coalition. Sorry, I can't figure out how to rename the thing on my phone. My apologies.
Thank you. I think we've got everybody. Okay, I'm sorry, we had just a technical problem, but we fixed it. We're really glad to see all of you here. We're gonna start out first with the National Western Center Community Updates. Lori, will you update us for us?
Update us. I'll go quickly. I'm just giving some updates. We've got Nwca, a shout out. They've been providing some workforce training here at the hub on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And they're training 13 individuals to really give them those skills to pass the aptitude test, so then they can get trained into their trades, to hopefully get employed at the equestrian center later. So he's got a strong commitment to having 13 individuals from Bruce Randolph and Colorado High School Charter. So just wanted to do a shout out there. This weekend, Prodigy is having their 10th anniversary this Saturday from 4 to 6:30. And, you know, they're always opening their doors for people to come celebrate and just like, celebrate with them. Sorry, I'm like flustered. This is just throwing me off.
Just
Okay,
take breath.
so.
Yeah, just
So,
go at it slowly.
Okay, so we have the movie night, which is open to everybody in the GS community, and that's where we partner with CSU Spur as well as Valdez Area Library to make sure that we have this platform and this opportunity for anybody in these three communities to come. We have pizza, popcorn, conversation, a lot of great activation. So if you're interested, I will send out an email. The movie this month is Sandlot. Really looking. Yeah, I'm so excited. I was trying to get peanuts and, you know, carnival stuff, but it didn't work out, but we're gonna have pizza and popcorn for sure. Bloom and Blue is a networking event that we are hosting here at the hub. Sandra is having a networking event and I'm really just so proud of her. It's a sold out event. We've got so many people from the community that will be attending and there's gonna be a fashion show. Looking forward to that event. So just wanted to do a shout out there, but sold out pretty quickly. The first Friday at the hub. So as you know, you do host, We Don't Waste the first Friday at this community site, the hub. And we've kind of worked on how can we engage the families that are already showing up for those We Don't Waste events. We work with Alex over here at Compost Colorado that can get that free compost to our families. We are working with baby essentials that are offered. What's going to be new for May is every family will be able to bring 4 tires per household so they can have that recycled at no charge. That information will be going out to families. I even know just driving through GES, you see tires on the side of the road and, you know, these are the solutions that we're trying to come up with that, you know, hey, how can we create a space where you can bring in those tires, recycle them. Our next month, we're hoping to have some paper and a shredding fest. So we're just trying to really consolidate a lot of that festival and activation for those families to come on that first Friday at the hub. You guys have heard me, Market at the Center is only a few weeks away, and I'm really looking forward to May 9th. We are doing so many wonderful things with CSU Spur and WSSA, just a lot of great activations. Please bring your families, bring your loved ones. We are really highlighting Mother Earth, having some great activations, as well as making sure that this is a platform, not just for mothers, for people that take care of their families. They're, you know, we all have different dynamics in our household, so please bring the ones that, you know, help grow our family and help keep us all together. And there's going to be free activations. There's a free, you can decorate your own little bee bath. There's going to be a bouquet bar, live music and multiple locations on the riverfront in the middle of the main plaza, and then also at the saloon. So really just wanting to make sure that you guys know this space is for you. It's, you know, please come enjoy it with your families. You know, you can bring a blanket to the riverfront. Just listen, you know, just join us on these second Saturdays. And then another thing that's going to be happening on that same day is Birdseed. They're having their Spring Fest on that day. So let's say you go to Market at the Center, that's from 10 to 2. You can always still have time to go over to Birdseed. They're having their Spring Fest Carnival from, I think it's 12 to 4. And I will share out that flyer as well. One of the upcoming tradition is the Garden Place Academy. If you have never been, it's a great time. Bring your families, come as yourself, you're a senior citizen, come, you know, as you are, but it's really a place for us all to come together, celebrate the kiddos, and just be able to come together as a community. I will collectively put this in one email and send it out to you. We've been trying to do it through text platform as well as our monthly newsletter. So if there's any ways that we can best support you to get your neighbors these resources and this outreach, let me know. You can email me, you can call me, but we're really just trying to get a larger reach for the families that are in here, because there's so many great resources, but not really one place that we can collectively share out. So I do have a QR code. If you can fill that out, I will make sure that I sign you up for the text platform as well as the monthly newsletter. Really looking forward to having you guys be part of the communication, and we have a lot of free tickets that we are able to offer. So I just want to make sure that's going out to everybody. Yeah, so Market at the Center, there's some flyers in the back. If you go through the back, you can take pictures. If you want to take a flyer, just let me know and I can make another copy for other people. But that's all of the resources that I'm collecting per month that we can try to get out and share out to your community. So take a picture with your phone, share it out. There's so many great resources. And Market at the Center, just put it on your refrigerator. If you scan that QR code, it will tell you the run of the show each month. We are there seasonal, but if you click on the National Western Center, you've got the stock show and then CSU Spur. A week prior, you'll be able to scan that and it will tell you like all of the great activities that is offered. Let's go to the next one. Another thing that I wanted to really put out there, Second Saturday has a lot of different visuals. So you have Second Saturday, CSU Spur, they started that Second Saturday. They have their visuals that are out there kind of advertising for that Second Saturday. WSSA, they're new to us this year. The Legacy building is open and available during second Saturday. So I just wanted to show you that, you know, we are all working as partners, collaboration, on campus, but obviously the marketing is gonna look a little different, but it's all the same message. Got it done.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're gonna move next to Steve on an update on the, question center task force.
So I have the same report that I had last month. Unfortunately, not a lot to share at this moment. We are still right in the middle of negotiating a deal with our development partner on the equestrian center, hotel, parking garage, workforce housing, and community building and greenhouse. Those negotiations we're working hard, they're going well. There's still a lot of work to do there. I suspect I will have the same update for the next couple of months. To reassure everyone about the community benefits that we've all been working on together as a group. The project support agreement that went to city council requires the authority to include those community benefits in the agreement we're currently negotiating with our developer. And so they are intact, they are not being questioned. We are just not at liberty to really share any more details at the moment, but really hope to share it soon as we're able. So thanks for your patience and continuing to be engaged.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions? Comments? Okay. Brian?
Yes, do you have my slides?
Oh, actually, I have a question. Are you, sorry, and maybe I was gonna wait, cause maybe you're just here, or maybe you're doing another presentation, but are you still working with Sage, or is there like partnership now in Cambria, or? I was just curious
Yes,
about
still
that.
working with Sid.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, you can go to the next slide. So, this map, you can't read all of that. I'm not gonna also go through each of these things, because all of this information is online. We're really trying to push everybody to go to the GBS Pop website. This map will be up there and it will keep you up to date on changes that are happening. The big one, to highlight, if you go to the next slide, is, regarding the Washington project on Washington Street. There is a change in the traffic control that will be happening next Monday. So right now, if you go on Washington, between 51st and 52nd, the construction is happening on the right-hand side of the road. That is gonna shift to the middle lane, essentially working their way, west, through those lanes. So they're gonna switch to the middle lane. The negative effect of that is going to be that from 51st, you are not gonna be able to turn left. And from Washington, you won't be able to turn left onto 51st. So you will be rerouted on those. That's gonna be in place for a month as they complete the center of the road there on Washington. So hopefully they will finish that up quicker than a month, but that is the big effect that is happening there. And again, that's happening on Monday, and they confirmed today that they are on track to make that switch on Monday.
Do we just want to see if anybody's has questions on it, or you want to continue on Washington?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead. Also, we have the flyers here that have the QR codes to both go to, that'll take you to the GES Pop website, and we'll get you signed up for that newsletter. And then you can see the map that I had up there. All that information is on there if you want more details on that.
Brian, I have
Yeah.
a question. Do you have that map also on a flyer where that you're sending to people,
Yes,
to their homes?
you're talking about the one with the change in traffic
Yeah,
here?
like everything that you're doing is just going to a website when some people don't even have an internet.
Yep.
Are you guys like sending them to their mailboxes or to their homes directly, just so people are aware of that happening? Because I have a neighbor and they don't have internet and they don't use it.
Mhm.
And, but we have to take 51st and Washington.
Yeah.
Coming from where we are, because we're in North, Global. And it will be great for them to know. I mean, I let them know, but it will be also nice for you guys to let people know what's happening.
Yeah.
Without our website going to a QR and a website and all that.
Yeah. The answer to that is yes. And this flyer would have went out this week, so it should be either have gone out or going out. We usually like to get those out 2 weeks in advance. However, if you know of a change that happened to it and somebody that was directly around there did not receive a flyer, please let me know, because that's one thing that we are trying to keep the projects accountable on, and the contractors, in terms of that's their responsibility to send those out when there's a change in traffic control. So yes, this would have went out to all of the residents and businesses around there. The businesses are usually talked to specifically, because it usually has, you know, especially if it has some type of negative effect on maybe access to their driveway or something like that. So usually they're going around and speaking to each individual and then handing out the flyers to everybody in the area. So, but please, if that's not happening, let me know so we can keep them accountable. It's something we obviously are on top of and are making sure that we do. In all GES, we require the public information teams to hand out flyers, not just mail, but actually hand flyer to people. So, yeah.
So you're saying you canvass the whole Phoenix?
You know, I can't remember what, Lauren, you know, like what the standard is for how far it goes out?
No.
It's usually something like, you know, 100 homes within a certain area. Yeah, I could get you that information in terms of what the actual standard is in terms of how far out that goes. But there is, you know, obviously it doesn't go to all of GES. It's a defined area around where that, yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to look into, because I know that historically we don't receive that, even when they say, yeah, it's gone out.
Yeah,
And you, like, I've been right next door to some of these projects where we should have been flyered, and we definitely didn't get that,
yeah,
the whole block.
yeah. So if those happen on specific, because there's so many contractors, Denver Water, the actual contractor that we're contracting with for the project. So when those things happen, for instance, if there were a full shutdown, there was a full shutdown in Washington the other weekend. If the folks in that area did not receive that, please let me know, because they were told very explicitly to make sure that they sent out and sent people around to send out their flyers. And if they don't do that, that's something that I want to follow up with them on and hold them accountable on. So
Is there some way that you guys can make that an internal process versus putting the ownership on us? Like, I don't know if this is happening, if it's, I'm
Yeah.
not receiving the thing.
You mean in terms of,
Like, knock on one door, did you guys get this flyer?
okay, yeah, we can discuss that
Like,
in
you
our,
guys take the ownership.
yeah, that's something we can discuss, is a system in which we can follow up and make
Yeah,
sure. that
especially for like really important things.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, any other questions on the chapter?
Let's just make sure in the Zoom room there's none.
Yeah.
No. Good. Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
So in the last meeting, somebody had asked for details on the Washington Street project and kind of what that was gonna look like, and this is a rendering of basically a snapshot of Washington. I believe this is Washington and 49th. So this is basically showing an example of what the street is gonna look like with the center lane, with the turning lane there, with the amenity zones. Is there any way you can zoom in on that a little bit more? You can see that there are benches, there's tree plantings, there's other amenities. I don't know if there is trash cans. I believe that is planned, but there are some logistical issues with that at times, so, but yeah, this is basically gonna update Washington to more of like the city standard in terms of amenity zones, larger bus stops. You can see some seating. It's like basically like a parapet wall right there, that's like a seating area. So this is an example of the design that's happening here.
Yeah, question.
Yeah.
So who's gonna maintain all that, like watering all them plants, who's gonna clean, do all that kind of stuff?
That would be the city. There is some. I don't know all the details of it right now, but there is a proposal for a new maintenance district for all of Washington. So that would be, something that will need to be discussed with businesses in the area, because that comes out of, that's a tax to them essentially for that maintenance district. So I don't have all the details on that. I was told the other day that the discussions are beginning to happen on that new maintenance district. So that would be where the revenue would come to maintain that. But yes, it would be city maintained, everything on there. Other than the light poles, which Excel maintains the actual light poles to make sure the lights.
On the maintenance district, I know there are some districts where for that maintenance, they hire people that were like previously homeless or previously incarcerated. Is there anything that we could advocate for related to that maintenance district to ensure that they might hire people who are from 80216? If there's like other areas that have sort of like specialized hiring for their maintenance districts?
I have not heard of that before.
It's the
and-
Colfax one.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I will advocate for that. I'm sure Maggie is involved with Colfax as well, so I'm sure she'll understand this program. So she's the one that told me about this, that's happening. So I'll get more information on that, whether that's something that's happening. And I think that's a great idea if that is something that's possible for this, so.
This is kind of a sidebar, but that happens, can we talk about doing that for Lincoln, like the underpass project that we keep talking about? So if you do get a go ahead for something like that, say, hey, there's something over a couple blocks further on Lincoln.
Yeah, on Lincoln.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that is like a situation that's happening on Colfax, and then people are hired to clean up, you know what I mean? So.
Hired to clean up their own mess.
Mess, and so, you know, it's complicated.
No, I think that's a great idea. I just never heard of that program before, so, but I'll definitely look at that. I'll report back on that when I find out more about what this whole maintenance district is. From what I understand, it's just, the discussions have just begun. So obviously they want to have it in place by the time the project is finished, so. Lauren, I don't know if you have any.
No, that's about the extent of
Okay.
what I know about it, but
Yeah.
we can follow up.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow up in the next meeting on that.
That's right.
But yeah, any other questions about Washington or what is expected there?
I have a question about Washington and, so for people that don't know what's the project about, cause I know I have neighbors that don't even know why the whole Washington project is happening. And usually when we see this kind of projects is to benefit another project, not really the neighborhood. And people are like asking if it's really gonna help the residents around it, or it's just another project to benefit the National Western or any other projects that are happening nearby, and how is that gonna benefit the neighborhood, and how is that gonna affect the residents around it? Because like any other project, it affects just while they're doing construction. So the traffic and all the dust and everything, all the noise, but also how can that benefit the residents? I know it's gonna be better because there's gonna be more way to go up and down, but seeing that photo and seeing all these beautiful trees and sidewalks, something that we don't see in our neighborhoods. And it reminded me of yesterday when we were doing knocking doors. We saw these two residents outside. We were there for 30 minutes with two residents, like they were like talking everything, like they've been here forever. And one of them mentioned the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And something that we've been talking about a lot, and he said that he's being charged already every month, but he cannot do anything, like he cannot, do anything on the sidewalk, that he knows how to do all that work, but the city doesn't allow him. So he said like he's just paying for something that he's not really getting benefit from. And all the sidewalks there on 47th and Vine, era la 47 y 70, Vine, or 47 Vine is, they're really bad still. And how people are already paying for sidewalks when they're not gonna see that benefit. And then I heard that it's benefiting part of Colfax. They're getting new sidewalks, and that's kind of the tax that they're getting from residents around the city. But how can these residents also benefit from all these projects? And what is really this project
Yeah.
about?
Well, there's a couple of things I think you're getting at there. One is the overall sidewalk issue, which is a citywide issue. My neighborhood has heaved sidewalks, as you know, they look as bad as the sidewalks in this neighborhood. So, I think that's all, everybody is there with that, and the sidewalk program is moving forward and beginning implementation. I don't have all the details on exactly where those repairs are gonna be made yet. They are still rolling that out, but they are starting in their first phase to start notifying those residents that are on their first phase of that. So there will be improvements to sidewalks, both in the sidewalk program and then some related things with the GES Safer Streets program as well. The overall kind of what is Washington and what is the overall goal in the area, I think there are several of us could speak to that, but one of the big things is connectivity within this neighborhood and making the neighborhood more connected, both pedestrian, bike and car travel, making it more easy to travel, making it easier for people to travel by bike and by pedestrian travel. And making more ways for people to move through the neighborhood, to connect the neighborhood and kind of bring back a sense of community and a sense of interconnectedness within the community. So I think that these basic infrastructure type projects are trying to get at that, address those very basic needs. Lauren could speak to this as well. She's in Dottie as well, and so if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sidewalk enterprise program just started, so I know it's a fee that you're paying that you're not seeing the results from immediately, but like they're just starting to fund that account. And the next project we're gonna talk about is funded through the city's stormwater enterprise fund. So when you pay that fee a couple times a year, it's actually even on the same bill. You have your sidewalk enterprise fund and your stormwater enterprise fund. That stormwater one, which we've been funding for years, that one is directly funding this entire Greenway project, which is pretty cool. So you'll see that benefit in your neighborhood with what you've been paying for, and the sidewalk one will hopefully work the same way.
Can I ask a question about the stormwater? Oh, yeah.
I have a question. Are we, like, as residents, are we gonna be able to see the maps? Or how you guys gonna make it? Cause I have seen in a lot of districts that they have made a lot of changes on the roads. But as for the lights, they have like putting these, like metal on the middle. So we wouldn't let that close to the schools because of the danger it can be there, and they would be letting us safe. So I'm very concerned on that. Are we gonna be able to see how you guys are gonna manage it, or how you guys gonna make it?
Yeah. I think when the side, what is Paige's project? The Safer Streets.
Yeah.
When that project comes through, they are seeking feedback on that type of thing.
Yeah, they have been,
Exactly.
so all of their ideas have been workshopped with the community. They've done a lot of outreaches, so they're working through stages, just like the Triangle program is say, okay, we want to get, what are the important things to you? Where are the important areas? here's what we think we heard from you. Was that true? They just completed that phase of sort of where do you want the projects? What is important to you and what do you want these things to look like? So they are now in their next phase of design, where they're gonna start releasing actual design. So they're kind of saying, right now, we hear that you want pedestrian improvements in this area, that bike lanes or something like that. There's not detailed design and engineering that's happened. So the next phase will be the next phase of outreach, and we can get you involved in that, where you can look at the actual, them saying, between this area and this area, this is exactly what we're gonna do. This is what we've designed, and get feedback on that to say, that bike lane doesn't look safe, or that's gonna cause issues with drop off at a school, or access to a business or something like that. So that's that next phase, and that'll be happening in the next couple of months, I think later in the summer. So I'll make sure that everybody here in the meeting hears about that, so that we can make sure that people continue to stay involved in that.
Okay, we're gonna go here and then to you, Lauren.
Okay.
Regarding the biennial stormwater.
Yeah.
Building, how are you guys ensuring accuracy with the impervious areas of the imperviousness? Because I think I've asked a similar question in the past, but it's.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out. But then it's like, I'm in the capital projects world, so like using that money for new projects and I don't know exactly how they calculate that.
It just seems like they're probably doing like Google mapping or something, but there's definitely.
Yeah, there's-
Neighbors who are throwing in more concrete, and I'm sure.
And
that
their fee doesn't change.
I have like less concrete.
Yeah.
And mine never changes.
Well, it also depends on whether that was permitted work that the person did or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's-
so
and
that's tough, yeah.
Yeah, based on like a GIS mapping layer and yeah, what gets into that and what doesn't, probably goes into how it's calculated, and I don't know how often they recalculate it too, but I can totally.
Thank you.
get
I
that.
started.
Yeah.
Oh, we can bring the right person to answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I can, depending on how complicated it is, I can relay that information back to the meeting too, so. Lauren was gonna,
Well, I think
present.
Lori has.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Angela, she asked a question. In the future, will there be monies to fix Washington from 47th to Rixby Court? Rixby?
Yeah, that is a next phase. I believe that the original design did include that, right, Lauren?
Of Washington Street?
Washington, from 47th all the way to Ringsby. I believe that the original design
Went that far.
included all of that. And that it was a funding issue, that this was considered the phase one of that. So I think there is a desire on the city's part to continue, but I think the 47th to 52nd was considered the more, and I think people could see that it's obviously the more rundown area and in more of a need, so. I don't have any information on when that is, but I'll speak with the project manager, Mark, because he's the one that's mentioned that to me before, is that had been part of the very early discussions on it, and that was determined that there wasn't the funding to continue past 47th for now.
Related question right there.
And Angela,
There's just a
let me just
related.
make sure Angela
Oh,
was
okay, sure.
answering her question. Angela, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. I just want to make sure y'all don't forget about South Gloville, because I know all that construction, again, you've all heard me say it. I have no shame in saying it. All roads lead to the National Western. So as long as South Gloville doesn't get forgotten and something happens over in this way, I just want to keep bringing that up, because the original design was from 51st all the way to Ringsby, and then it changed from 51st to 47th. So thank you.
Yeah.
Here's one more related question.
Related to what Angela was saying, I've booked a lot of people recently in Dottie for that stretch, because especially since it closed that 45th and Washington access point to the trail.
Yeah.
It's really unsafe to walk, to bike, to do anything outside of, even in the car, it's scary, especially the bridge that goes over the river. There's barely enough room for one person to walk, so I encouraged some people from Dottie to walk it. and actually see what it's like. When you have a kid or a dog or a stroller or anything, you have to step into the oncoming traffic. And that whole section that Angela mentioned is like,
Yeah.
you actually are trying to kill yourself for real.
What area are you talking about specifically?
Exactly what Angela mentioned, that stretch from Rigsby to 47.
Oh, okay.
And you have to, the way that it's not user friendly for, well, foot traffic or bike traffic, because there's the way that it pushes you certain ways, like there's a sidewalk here, there's not much here.
Mhm.
There's only this much space to go across over here, you're gonna get clipped by people's side mirrors and their cars.
Yeah.
And to try to get under I-70 is just terrifying, it's harrowing.
Mhm.
And so they've closed that 45th and Washington trail access, and they want you to go either north or south, and there's no safe way to do that.
Okay, yeah, there is discussions, both short-term, about, making some improvements to that pedestrian and then long-term.
Please don't
discussion.
forget it, like Angela was pushing.
Yeah, no, there is specifically a project that's coming up. I can't discuss it fully yet. Yeah, I'll discuss it in an upcoming meeting, but, and they'll be seeking community outreach on that. But it's basically the continuation of the levy project, that will include improvements to that area as well. So, yeah.
Lori.
Okay, so then, thank you, AE. I will share that, link that you put in the chat. I'll share it after the meeting. Just to the people that were present in person as well. But AE was just sharing a current list of city admins, like a website. So I'll share that out. And then Armando has the traffic assessed at looking at using red street lights instead of white. And help the environmental conditions, especially for the wildlife such as bats, reducing the amount of mosquitoes, etc.
I don't know that that's ever been a citywide discussion. I could look into that and see if that is ever something that, Lauren, have you ever heard that in terms of?
No, but I
design?
bet like your NEPA people, the environmental people who.
Yeah.
I bet there's people who know.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to that those type of studies and initiative are really popular in Denmark and Europe. For whatever reasons, the United States were always last. The red lights don't emit as much harm on the wildlife, especially where that data center is going to be and along street lights. I'm surprised that you guys aren't aware of this, but it's environmental friendly, and the redness helps the wildlife to be more active and doesn't put as much stress. And it's also not as good for human beings as well. I'm sure you guys know that as well. So from an environmental standpoint, I mean, that's something that's going on in a big shift all over the world. But again, Europe, those other countries, Denmark, Sweden, they're way ahead of us in terms of environmental actions, in terms of trying to upgrade the environmental health that we occupy here. But again, I think the Denver traffic and infrastructure should really take an assessment, even on a pilot project such as Washington would be cool, especially with all the vegetation along the river and stuff like that. I think it would just, as you know, we live in the most contaminated zip code in America, and anything that we could do to change that title around would be great. So little things like this, I think you guys should take a look at it, because I think it falls into your lane. Transportation infrastructure where that would allow you to make that change, and it's more cost effective. The red lights don't use as much energy as the white lights.
Armando, I'll report back if discussion. Armando, will you help inside your computer?
I'm sorry?
And then, will you mute your computer?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I know that Judy had her hand up. If we can go to her question, she's been.
Go ahead.
Okay, AE.
We've gone way over our 10-minute
Yes.
time.
I can't hear. Do you know my hand is up?
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
now we know.
It's you.
Go ahead, AE.
Thanks. I've got a real bad sound here. Just to bring forward a couple things regarding the impact of the Washington Street development on Gloveville in general. I'd just like to bring forward some comments that were consistent coming from within the residents that participated over the years, going way back to when the Urban Land Institute did a study. Included were commitments to, or a desire and commitments to make Washington Street more pedestrian friendly, and that's along the line of some of the comments. And I think all of these can be extended up to south for the completion of this, south of 47th, as people are commenting. Secondly, that there was concern that awareness would develop to bring people in to Washington Street businesses that were not just franchises or large corporations, that there would be an initiative to see if some kind of interwoven economy in the neighborhood could be supported by supporting family and small businesses. And also that there is resistance to calling this Washington Street corridor or a main street, wanting to keep the feel of sort of the organism of the neighborhood. And I think there's a lot to be talked about here, but I just want to emphasize that there is a feeling over the years that I've seen with many residents, including myself, and it's shown up in public comments, and I hope it's in some of the reports, that the goal is for Glowville to feel not like a sectioned off neighborhood, and not like all of a sudden the center of gravity is shifted to Washington Street, but that there's a dynamic and a very interwoven economy that knows itself and can really feel like a prospering neighborhood with a range of things that increase the quality of life. So that's a generalized statement in some sense, but I think it's important to recognize that's part of the answer to how is this impacting the neighborhood as a whole, in addition to just how the infrastructure of fixing all the sidewalks is creating some benefits in the connectivity for ongoing discussion.
Thank you, Adi.
Thank you.
Thanks for that background.
I did want to go back up to Angela. She had mentioned she had questions about GES Safer Streets. They will be attending in May. So we should have some updates then.
Yes, they will be.
Any further comments from Zoom?
I have a comment. So there's gonna be a meeting in May?
A GES Safer Streets
They'll be
meeting.
attending the CAC.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll be, they use this as a way to keep you guys updated
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
And how are you keeping residents, all the residents, like you mentioned, that you guys been doing outreach like the triangle, but I haven't seen people knocking on doors. Like
For-
the triangle's doing for outreach.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't wanna be mean to you guys, but
No, it's okay.
but it's important for people just to do knocking on doors and telling people, like you mentioned, how you can tell people that this project is happening, if they receive flyers, and if they just having more that connection with residents will be nice for people that probably they didn't even get any notifications or anything.
Yeah, outreach is oftentimes dictated by the project itself and the budget that they have for that. I know that they have done quite a lot of outreach. I don't believe that they did individual door to door. And I think that around the time that they were considering that was a really touchy time in terms of what was going on with immigration and stuff. So there was maybe some concern about doing door to door at the time, but they have done quite a lot of outreaches and a lot of community events and tabled there. And gotten a lot of people on their mailing list and gotten feedback. So I think that they've done a fairly good job in terms of trying to reach out to the community, but yeah, Triangle is obviously a really big, concerted effort that sets a new standard for outreach in this area, and I think it's great, but prior to that, I don't think everyone has really had that same standard in terms of how outreach is done. So I think Triangle will really affect things, how it happens moving forward.
Hi.
Yeah.
This is Becca with Global First. So I just kind of caught the end of that conversation. Sandra, are you referring to the North Denver Safer Streets, the surveys that we've been doing?
Yeah.
So the flyers that we handed out, me and Milo, those were like the surveys and everything that we were getting everybody to come to. The main one that we were really trying to bring a lot of folks to was the one that was at the Panaderia. If you remember that one.
That one?
It was like about a month ago, right?
No, it was just a few weeks ago, but yeah, so the outreach that we were doing ties into the North Denver Safer Streets. So like the events that we've been tabling, our events, we've been tabling, just at their events. We've done Swansea. So it's like all the stuff that we were posting on Facebook, all the links that I was sending you. It ties into that. Anything that was done before Globeville first got involved, I can't really speak on that. But Globeville first has been involved in flyering and tabling and really getting, folks' opinions. When we did I think the biggest one that we had was at the park when we did our Globeville Youth Day. We tabled there and we got quite a few, uh, and just having conversations with people. So everything that you've told me, Sandra, everything that Nancy's told me, I did include those as far as the outreach goes. Anytime any feedback is given, we always write it down and we turn that over to the North Denver Safer Streets.
I'm gonna move us along because we're way behind in our schedule. We're not gonna finish everything. We don't hurry.
Yeah. Lauren.
Okay, I'm not. Thank you guys for having me. I'm Lauren Wolleman. I'm with Dottie's wastewater capital projects group. And so I'm here to talk about the 48th Avenue outfall and greenway project. Because we're gonna be starting construction on a new portion of it here this fall. And so again, this project is funded by that Stormwater Enterprise Fund that you pay a fee for biannually. And this project originated as a way to help solve, there's a lot of flooding in that residential area around Argo Park. Those homes see their basements get flooded time after time again. And the city did a big study in 2019 called the Globeville Stormwater System Study and identified this flooding problem. And so this project helps to eventually help that. It's a big project that was multiple phases long, so it'll take us a while to really get that impact, but we're starting. And as part of that stormwater system study, there was a community outreach back then, and they identified the desire of the community for connections and green space. And so this first phase of the project, from Washington Street to the South Platte River, on top of the big storm sewer that will be underground, we're adding in a greenway with some trail connections, and there will be a new light, a new traffic signal at Washington and 48, and a connection to the sidewalks on Washington Street that'll connect to the South Platte River Trail, and then to the Betty Cram Drive Bridge as well. If you go to the next slide, it kind of zooms in to that. This is what it looks like from Washington Street to the South Platte River. So 48th Avenue is shifting a little bit further to the north to be in line with Elgin, and then the bridge will cross over to right by CSU Spur. Just to get everyone familiar with where this is. And so then south of the new 48th, there will be a little greenway with native vegetation and some trails. And this is a unique space because it's not a park. It's not officially a Denver park. It's not National Western. It's just city right of way. So there's some unique opportunities there to do what we want. And let's see what's the next slide, Brian. Okay, so this project is starting construction this fall. We're working on getting a contractor on board right now. And so the design is done, but the final element of the design is adding in this interpretive signage on top of the greenway. And we're really trying to figure out like, how do we program this space? How do we make it something that the community wants and can use? And we've been talking to small groups of community members. Amanda's been really helpful in this, and, we've met with a bunch of different organizations about programming this space. And then we were at the library groundbreaking on the 18th, and we'll be at the Spring Fest, on May 9th. So if you have any ideas or thoughts for this space, there'll be contact info on one of the next slides too. And then
Also
this
have a
is,
flyer in the back for that.
yeah, yes, there's a flyer back there too. And so this is what some of those like where we've landed, meeting with all the different organizations in the area. We've kind of, landed on like some education around the native, land use in this area and like what the river meant to, natives in this area. Washington Street project is gonna have some educational signage as well that kind of tell the industrial, piece of Globeville, how the industry developed in the area, and so this will kind of bring it back a step to the native. And so these are just some concepts that we have. There'll be little seating areas, places for people to meet, and it's not a space that needs to be reserved or anything. It'll be just open to the public. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, and this just further zooms into what that'll look like, some of the trails and some of the seating areas. And we've kind of been developing like a medicine wheel concept for these concrete seats that'll be in the greenway. And so this is what you see out there right now. If you're standing at the CSU spur, at that intersection of Betty Cream Drive, you can look across the river and see this construction, and this is the outfall portion of the project. We're constructing the outfall with the Globeville levee project, so the stormwater is gonna come out of those 3 holes in the concrete down there on the right side, and then there's gonna be an overlook on that second, half circle area, and then the greenway will slide, like, right where you see the existing 48, that's where the greenway will be, and that's where it's a 16x5 box culvert, so like, that's how much stormwater will be carried underground from the Argo Park neighborhood to the South Platte River. Eventually, we have to work our way upstream there, but that's the goal.
The bridge will be right there as well.
And the bridge linking will be right, yeah, the Betty Graham Drive Bridge will be right there, so with the new sidewalks on Washington Street and the signal on Washington Street, and then this path, there'll be access to the South Platte River Trail and then across to, across the bridge as well.
Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So- You're not gonna invite me for next time. No, when you say, well, it's gonna be connected with the Betty Cram Bridge, right? And one of my concerns is how is the Betty Cram is gonna be used just for connectivity, or sometimes it's gonna be used for the stock show, because we see that now on 51st Bridge, and we like, when I come from Glover, it's really hard, because I live just right on 50th, and we have to cross 51st. And it's hard when the stock show is there, because it's closed for those 3 weeks. So if Betty Cram is really gonna be a connectivity for the 3 neighborhoods. And also, when you talk about doing any project, anything that is happening, it's good to be open with all the organizations in the neighborhood, because there's many organizations that probably didn't know about this, and how they can let people know, residents probably from North Global, South Global, Swansea, and just be open. Find out about all the organizations that are here, just to be open with them and see how they can also help with these ideas. But yeah, most of it is the bridge, the Betty Cram Bridge, because it's like, we're gonna have more bridges, and if we can't use them for 3 weeks, it's hard for people coming from Globeville.
Yeah, especially when the Marion Underpass is completed, the Vibrant Denver Bond Project, and we connect Washington all the way to Brighton. That'll be even more important. So yeah, we're very aware of that one.
And then I think we have, Nola, this question, can you describe the timing of the next phases and the rail crossing status?
Yeah, the next slide, I believe, has a schedule. So right now, we're working on getting a contractor on board, and the Greenway is gonna start construction this fall. And that'll be about a year construction. So then by late next year, the Greenway portion will be open, and that's from Washington Street to the South Platte River. And then there's another phase then that'll cross underneath the storm system will cross the railroad tracks. And follow 48 to Argo Park. Those portions are not funded for construction yet. They're just in design. We have a 60% design. And so we don't know yet exactly when those portions will start construction. It's at least a couple years out. Just because bringing that design to fruition, it'll take a couple of years at least. So, yeah, but we know it's a priority, and we need to get to like at least Logan to relieve some of those flooding issues in the neighborhood. So we're working on it and really pushing to move it forward.
Any other questions there? Miranda? Okay.
Sorry, can I follow up?
Yeah, sure.
So can you explain more about the status of like crossing the rail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the railroad tracks on Washington Street, or are you talking about like further west?
Further west.
So, like we initially had concepts that showed a ped bridge over the railroad tracks, from like just west of Washington to like the very east edge of Argo Park, but that is not the route we want to go. But that is like what the preliminary plans showed, because we kind of viewed that as like our only option to get a pedestrian crossing over there. I think what we really, really want is an at-grade crossing at Pearl, but BNSF doesn't really allow new at-grade crossings, and so there's like other things BNSF want the railroad. There's like things, we've got to convince BNSF that it's
Negotiations are
worthwhile.
going on.
Yeah, yes, thank you for, yeah, so that's complicated. We'll be able to get the storm sewer across the tracks. We'll for sure be able to get the storm sewer across the tracks, like BNSF will work with us on that. It's getting the pedestrian crossing across the tracks, like that'll be more challenging, and I'm not sure the timing. Ideally, we would move both of those forward in the same timeline, but I just don't know if that's going to happen or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, BNSF sucks. So
They're hard to work with, and it's
Your official city position. Yeah, your words, not ours, but.
They know that an at-grade crossing at Pearl is what we want, and it's, yeah, they're very much aware of that.
Yeah.
It's like, what can we give them in place of that? It's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
There's a rumor that they're gonna cut off that part of the rail entirely, BNSF. I don't even know where I heard
And
that
not
rumor,
use it.
but
I have
But-
heard a rumor of that sort as well, but I haven't heard anything beyond a rumor, so.
Yeah, and BNSF says nothing of the sort.
Yeah.
So. But that, to me at least, I don't
Yeah.
know, but that would, yeah, I mean, that would be ideal, but that's not
Yeah,
like a.
that's something we're designing for right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay,
That's all we got. That was our 10 minutes. So,
now we're in here, but just saying. Okay, Mike.
All right, I'm gonna go right to the triangle engagement team and turn it over to Elizabeth.
Yes, I'm gonna share my screen for Zoom attendees, hopefully you all too. Great, good evening, everyone. I am hopefully also gonna keep mine to the 30 minutes that you all gave me. But I know that there's a lot of questions around outreach and what we've been doing so far. So I wanted to take just today's meeting to update you all on what we've been working on. We are gonna go over the block captains and community connectors update with you all. As well as the community partner organizations we are talking to and who have signed on to help with this outreach. Giving you an update on where we are door to door, as well as the application we'll be using to talk to neighbors. And then you all, if you haven't taken the survey, will have an opportunity to take the survey with us tonight. And then I will walk you all through some of the survey dashboards, and how to submit your own proposal and ideas. And then I will leave it up for questions. Of course, at any point, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to stop me. I'm happy to answer those as they come up. So we have had 33 applicants for the block captain application. Out of those 33 applicants, we have accepted 22. Some of those applicants were either not in the neighborhood or didn't fill out the application completely. And then out of those 22 that we've accepted, we have onboarded fully 16. So those 16 are knocking doors. And the other folks that I am working on getting them onboarded so they can also start knocking doors.
That's exciting.
So we're still accepting those last two folks on a rolling basis, so whoever gets their applications in, and then we'll be at 24 applicants as described by the Triangle Mission Guide. And I have a list. A list of the block captains so far. We will be putting together a website or an update on the website that we have currently with these names and kind of an area of the map of where the block captains are distributed, because I know that is a couple of questions that the community has had, but I just kind of wanted to give you all a background of the 22 that have been chosen so far. Community connectors, we had a form out for folks who want to engage at a lower tier and still be involved in the process. We've had only 4 community connectors sign up. Gisela, Jessica, Candy, and Jennifer. We're also accepting those folks on a rolling basis. So if at any point folks want to get involved in the process, and it isn't through block captains, they're able to do that as community connectors. And as I mentioned, that's a lower tier engagement. We will still be following up with those folks to get them onboarded and get them all the information that they need in order to do those touch points with their community. So we are asking them to sign up that community interest form that's on our website as well. And we have flyers that I did not bring with me today, but we will be sending flyers around the glory, around the community for folks to sign up if they're interested. As far as community organizations goes, we have partnered up with 5 organizations to help do outreach to their members and their bases as well. You can, Global First, Focus Points, GS Coalition, and CIF. All will be community organizations working to get information out as well on the phases of this work. All of that to say, what will all these people be doing? They will all be part of the guidance team. This is gonna be part of that advisory group that closes that feedback loop between the community, the project team, and really sharing community input about upcoming engagement opportunities or questions that the community might have around the planning process. So it'll be block captains, community connectors, community organizations, and then of course, the city and planning partners. Those meetings are open for folks to attend in the community, so we'll be sending out a Zoom link that's gonna be on our website. But those are the makeup of who's gonna be at those guidance meetings, talking about process, what they're doing in the community. We'll talk through surveys, but the folks will be able to register to attend the meetings and in-person meetings. It's a hybrid meeting. Great, so door knocking has started in the neighborhoods this last weekend. We, as I mentioned, onboarded 16 block captains. We are using Minivan, which is an application that has neighbors' doors, their addresses across the neighborhood, for folks to for block captains to knock on their door and track engagement metrics of who, you know, who's home, they left a flyer, if they had a conversation, if they took the survey. All of that is being tracked through Minivan, which we have trained our block captains on. That has that list, that was provided of the 3 neighborhoods, so that folks were going door to door. And block captains have an opportunity to write all their notes and see, you know, what house is coming up next on their, back end of the data form. We will be providing updates about the minivan data during the guidance team meetings. But essentially it's really an amazing opportunity for folks to really track, who's being talked to and who's taking the survey, on more of a door-to-door basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is and the guidance team meetings are with the organizations that are participating?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Another question?
So the guidance team is gonna be organizations and also block captains? Also, are you gonna also be tracking what the organizations are doing, like you're tracking block captains?
Yep, they have a reporting template. Great, so I want you all to scan the QR code or go to this link if you have not taken the survey. I want to take 5 minutes from my agenda for you all to do that right now, and just run into any issues or have questions about the survey. But maybe we'll just time wise sake, I'll do it for 2 minutes just so that you'll scan it and go into the actual website to see what it looks like, but essentially it'll pop up to welcome to the triangle at NWC, and then if you can press take our survey, it'll take you.
Want to go back to the QR code? I'm not sure everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go back to that.
Yeah. It went too fast. It went too fast.
It works. The QR code works.
Great, amazing. Glad it's done.
It better.
Yeah. It all falls apart at the
Yeah.
QR code.
Can you wait one, can you go
Yeah,
back?
I'm gonna wait 1 second. Yep.
When you are going door to door, you're doing physical copies.
Lori, can you move that little bar?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What's the Zoom bar?
Yep. That's right, this side.
It did work, even with that bar there, so.
So when you guys are going door to door, are you guys doing physical copies? Are you guys doing it on a notebook, or how is that?
All the things. So we have flyers with the QR code, this QR code for neighbors to scan on their own phones. The block captains have tablets that have the minivan script on their back end. And then we're leaving door hangers if they're not home with the QR code to the website as well.
Awesome.
So one of the things with the iPad is that we can't access that. So
Yeah, yes.
So
So we're
the phone
working
works good too.
We're working for the neighbors to like scan. The preference is that they do it on their own devices, but there's QR codes that we can leave behind with them. And then there's paper versions in both English and Spanish. If they don't want to take it on their devices, they're able to fill out the actual survey on paper form.
Is there a hope to get more than one per household? Because I mean, obviously the dynamic could be different.
Yes, yeah, we've trained block captains to have everyone in the household take the survey. My ideas can be different than whoever else lives with me, and so we wanna make sure that we're capturing all of the folks that live in one household. It's not necessarily by household, it's by the amount of people in the neighborhood.
And not everyone wants to do the survey there. So we try to leave a flyer and let them know that everyone in the family can do a survey. That's what we were saying yesterday. So they know that everyone in the household can do the survey. And also for people that don't want to do the survey, then we ask for their ideas. Because we have these residents that they didn't want to do the survey, but they gave us a bunch of ideas what they want to see there. So
How are you?
the other option, because it's a survey and also the idea.
I'll go through that piece here.
Okay.
Did everyone scan the QR code? Everyone has that? Yes. So yeah, it takes about 10 minutes. It is a lengthy survey, but folks have the option to submit, to share as much information as they would like with us. There's an option at the bottom of the survey to just submit it wherever you're at. So if folks are like, I just want to answer the questions and I'm done, they're able to still count their submission as a survey. And then what else? If they do not want to give us their information, block captains have an email address that they're able to use where we will validate the results, because we are asking for folks to share their email address or phone number in order to validate survey results, so we don't have multiple people taking the same survey. So it validates it on the back end, it'll send you a link that you click, or a code if you text it. And then if folks are like, I still like my voice to be heard, but I don't want to share my information, there is an option to do that with block captains.
Are people who are inclined to stonewall this project aware that right now is the most important time for them to be speaking up, so that when the design is presented, we can actually say, hey, 97% of the community members said they wanted a grocery store, where's the grocery store in the design? And then that's the time where there's leverage to actually fall back on the data that was collected.
Yes, I'm gonna go over the data here in a minute too on the public side of facing what that looks like. But we are also, everyone is aware of this, we sent a mailer to all 10,000 households. Okay, so what are we hearing so far? There's live results. I know we have questions about that. So I wanted you all to see what that looks like on our end. Once folks take the survey, you're able to see this little piece that says view results. And you're able to see how many survey results have been submitted so far. We're at 156. You're able to filter it even by neighborhood, to see how many folks have filled it out in each neighborhood. So Elyria, Globeville, or Swansea. And then folks are still able to participate if they hear about this and aren't necessarily like from the neighborhood, but go to an event as CSU Spur. We have block captains that are going to all of these events, but that doesn't mean that just the entire folks that are attending these events are from the neighborhood. And so of course, they're gonna get their hands on a survey or a QR code. We would still like them to participate, but we're able to tier that out of the results altogether. All that to say, you're able to see all of the multiple choice questions and their answers live once the submission forms are added into, once their what's called survey results are validated on the back end. So these are all the multiple choice questions and their answers, and they're actively being updated as folks take the survey. So it has all of the able to see.
This is a public facing page.
Yep.
So transparent.
Thanks, bro.
Great, so you see all of the questions here. I'll give you all an opportunity to I'll send Lori all of the details for you all to see the link there, but it's also, as I mentioned in that link that you all scan, you'll be able to see results on this page, and it'll pop up to here.
I have a question.
Yes, Angela?
Thank you.
Yep, Angela.
Yes, if we fill out the survey, does somebody still need to come knock on my door?
Yes.
Why?
And you will tell them the survey and they will mark it, and then we will know on our back end that you have completed the survey. Ideally, we're wanting to touch base with everyone, and so we don't necessarily know that you took the survey on our back end because it hasn't, block captains haven't gone to your door yet. But yes, they will be going to every single door.
Okay, because maybe there's people I don't want knocking on my door. So is there a way that I'm not joking. I'm like, is there a way can I finish?
Don't worry, just let me know if you don't want me there, and I won't go there because I got her area.
Yes, and part of the application where block captains are knocking doors, they're able to say like this person does not want to be contacted again, and we will not be visiting their household again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I can't see hands raised in the Zoom, so just speak out if you have a question.
Is there an age minimum for completing the survey? Okay.
Nope, I think there is a demographic question that asks your age, and it just says 18 and under. So there is not. If you can read and you want something in your neighborhood, you're able to fill out the survey. Okay. Continue.
Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes.
Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Listen, I'm going to ask you to, I'm not sure how to handle this, but I'd like to have my name taken off the block captains until it's clarified what my role is. My intention was not, in offering to participate, was not to take a position other neighbors could fill. And in addition, my name is misspelled, so let's take it off and until this is clarified, and finalized, okay?
Great, we will do that.
Just for the record. I don't want to waste time discussing it, but it would be good to, let's get real accurate. Thanks.
Yep. Great, anybody else in the Zoom? Question, comment? Okay, thanks, Elizabeth. And then once you submit, your survey, you will have an opportunity to also submit an idea. Here you will describe what you would like to see in the triangle area and submit that to your neighbors to see as well. And so I also wanted to walk through that, what it looks like live. So, sorry. Okay. So once you've done the survey, you're able to submit an idea here in this little button. And it'll ask you to share the name of your idea. So for example, if I wanted a volleyball court, you would say volleyball court. You'll have the option to choose a category, whether it's housing, parks and open space, local businesses, commercial spaces, food access, community and cultural spaces, health and wellness. I mean, you all can read, but essentially any of the categories that fit in within what you're wanting to submit as an idea. And then you'll tell us why your idea is important. So like ideally, how would this impact the community long term? What problems does your idea address? How would your idea help, solve that problem? And then who would your idea help, or what community would it serve? Whether it's, more inclusive, accessible, or equitable. We would want you to identify that here. And then you have the option to choose where you would want that to look like, whether it's, 44, or Brighton Boulevard. I want a grocery store on Brighton Boulevard. You're able to note that into which section of this area you would want it. And then really what I think is really cool, you can look up, of course, I'm on the spot, so I can't spell. But then you're able to look up pictures of what you would want this to look like specifically for your area. So you're like, actually, this is, I want a sand volleyball court. So I think I want that picture to represent my proposal. You would be able to select from a wide variety of, stock images. So you don't have to think or upload your own like creations. You're able to select something that fits within what you're thinking. And then once you submit that, you'll get an email saying your idea has been submitted. And then on the back end, you're able to see what ideas have been submitted. So your idea will go live for your neighbors to see as well. We've had a couple of folks already submit ideas. So you'll see it live here. So for example, folks have said solar energy production and battery storage, parking locations for micromobility devices, gas stations and EV charging. And then you kind of have an idea of other ideas that neighbors have. You're able to engage directly with them and kind of check out more about what they're wanting to describe in the area. So here you'll see, there's one gas station and we're in Swansea. Let's get another one. That was what that individual wanted, right? And you're able to really read about what their proposal is, who that idea helps. Basically, all the questions you answered in submitting this, you'll be able to see live on the results page. And then you're able to see the project location. Once if you like it, you're able to comment it and engage and be like, actually, I would much prefer this on 44th Avenue or not here. And we're wanting to just kind of hear from the public generally about which one of these project ideas they like, or what other ideas they don't like. And then you're also able to engage and like an idea in this little heart section right there. Yes.
A resident, I overheard asking how verification of residency is happening. I think I remember doing the survey and just saying like, what closest intersection you are. But that, I think, brought concerns about doesn't actually verify that somebody really truly lives there.
Mm-hmm. That's what the email verification is for. Ideally, we're trying to tie it to us.
Okay.
Or the phone number, email phone number. Any other comments or questions?
How do you get to the dashboard again with the results?
Yeah, so it'll be, sorry. So if you go to the homepage of the survey, you scroll down. And then you have the background of the project. And then at the bottom of this piece, you can either take the survey or submit an idea, and then right below this, you're able to see both of them. So view results for the surveys and then view results for the community.
Okay, thank you.
I have a comment.
Yes.
We've been telling people that, like, we're just starting, that it's time for the residents to speak from these communities. So actually, as a resident, I'm telling the people, this is our time, that we need to raise our voice and let them know that we have to be heard. It's not what the other people want, it's what we want. So that's what I've been telling people. And I hope, well, we have a good response from the residents.
I think, let me double check that those are all sorry. Yep, and then just lastly, if you haven't, please join our email listserv so you can stay updated on any updates that we have around the project. Any questions about any other pieces I went over? Anything in Zoom? Nope.
I just want to offer one quick closing comment. As you can see, this is a really ambitious.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Elizabeth is doing an outstanding job in terms of accountability, what everybody's accounted for in terms of the nonprofit organizations that are signed up. Everything that we do is documented and justified, and every T is crossed, every I is dotted. They're very, very thorough in everything. They have photos to support all the data is being checked. It's phenomenal what they have done in terms of being able to keep quality control of everything that everybody's doing in terms of the staff trying to get as much information that we can from the residents, and more importantly, the meaningful concepts and the vision, the foresight, the way we want to move forward in our neighborhood is nothing short of phenomenal. My hat goes off to Elizabeth for helping that. And the only way we're really going to get, as somebody else said in this meeting, the more input we get, the better results we're going to get. So I encourage everybody to really encourage everyone, todos, to get in there. And I did an outreach to a family. There was a family of 12. And again, those kids, there were 6th graders over at Garden Place. They were filling that out. So again, everybody at every level, the more responses we can get at different levels, the more meaningful product will come at the very end. And I think I know for a fact, we'll turn our neighborhood around, our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. You. Please. Okay.
You can do it.
I think we're good.
He will not.
Okay, here we go.
I just wanted to, similar comment, they're doing a great job. This really represents like a really broad-based engagement approach is what we heard from the community outreach work group. This is us implementing it, and it will continue to change and evolve. Like part of our commitment is to try all these different things, see what sticks, see what works. If something isn't working, we'll try something else. So we will continue to bring you updates and keep you in the loop as this evolves. So I'm really excited to finally be kicking off. They already have some great results to start.
Thank you.
It looks like a great platform.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Who is that? That the survey is run through Civic Trust. The Civic Trust. All right, let's move on. Eduardo. Yes,
I mean-
there you are.
Yeah, sorry, I was standing, my legs hurt. The only thing I had was the second Saturday plus the pizza opportunity. If you ever heard about the pizza opportunity, we got a sponsorship by Laprino, which is the biggest cheese maker in the world that makes mozzarella. We make a lot of cheese. And where they let us use that money to do some pizza cooking for the kitchen on Spur. I sent out a link to sign up if you're interested in bringing like your crew, it could be your organization, your family, just 30 people, to come cook some pizzas with us at Spur.
I would love to have the, local people first, and then if we don't get enough feelings, then we'll start marketing out more to CSU alumni and all that marketing, but I would love to have you guys around. Lori has the link, so she'll send it out after this too.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Literally,
What's that?
When?
please.
So you will sign up and then he'll reach out once that form has been completed.
I said that a few times, we just talked about it with people, but if you haven't, please let me know. I can give you the link right now to after this meeting.
Yeah, our goal would be to then have like a community one and can do, like, organizations can do it with their team. There'll be multiple.
I wanna give a shout out to Valdez Perry and the rec centers for signing up on time. Thank you.
Are you going to be in the afternoons or?
I think it's based off of like what the collective, like the community, we would do kind of a poll to see how many community members we could get to attend all at once. So we make it work with whatever works for everybody. Mostly in the summer, I think we can have more flexibility to have the kids out of school. So I'll send that link out, but if you are interested, and then Eduardo and I will work together on trying to get those classes going with those groups.
And is there any update on the camps, on how people get free access to the summer camps? We've been trying to email, and I say we, because the folks at the library who have a lot of access to children and families, and it just seems like we can't get a direct response on like if there's a code or like how people sign up to.
Did Catherine not get back to that?
No, she did not.
Oh.
No, and I've got an email out as well that I'm waiting for a response. I think she was out of the office, so I haven't, but I did put it at the top of her inbox, so I'm hoping to get a response as well.
She told me she was supposed to get back to you, but she told me it's super simple, but it's also, it's not intuitive at all. And then only when you're signing up, some of the programs are free, some of them are not. When you're signing up, if you put data to one zip code, it's just automatic. Which is my beef with also the scholarships we have for going to CSU as a student. You have to put data to one zip code, but they never tell you that. It's just, you just put it in, it's automatic, which is nice and convenient, but it's not intuitive of like trying to get a discount for anything, so.
And it would also be helpful to know like what programs are free and what programs
Those
are.
all issue.
Well, no, I took them that flyer and it says there's scholarships available, and then when we emailed with you, it was like some programs are free, but some are partially discounted, and we weren't clear which ones. And we wanted to make sure we were like setting families up for success on which ones. And then, and then I think the other question is like, which camps are full and which are not, like which ones do people still have access to?
In our website, there is a part of the website that has all the camps with the cost and what's still available. Let me get that to you.
Yes, that would be
You'll
awesome.
make it a lot easier.
Okay.
Also, now that our website is not super intuitive as well.
Well, it's a college website, there's lots of pages.
But yeah, I'll get that to you. And if you have any more questions about that, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you.
So even if the camps are full, but there's no one from 8216, can there be a space for 8216 residents? Just because no one really applied for that from 8216, even if it's already full, is there a space for? So you can ask, I know probably you don't know the answer, but it will be nice even if it's full already. Now that we can let people know that it's, but even if it's full, can people from 8216 apply for that?
Let me ask, because I know that a lot of those camps are also in partnership with other organizations. So let me, I'm sure I'm gonna get a million different answers, but I'll ask.
I mean, maybe since it is such a hot topic, maybe that is something that we can bring to the next CAC, an individual, because we don't have all the answers, which is fine. It's a pretty large organization, but since it has been, a conversation that continues to come up, maybe we can invite them to kind of speak about that, because I would love for us to have that opportunity for it to be when that has been opened, CAC is the first to know about it, so they can share with the families rather than have it be what's the end.
Yeah, and that's another topic that I'm talking about for next year with the education team. It's a giant team that does all the summer camps. Is to have everything in advance for us, so we can have like early bookings and stuff like that. So even if we don't have like specific spots for GES, they can have early signups instead. Cause that's how some of the summer camps do it, and it works better that way too. But yeah, that's like a whole conversation with the team. We're hiring someone right now who hopefully will make us childcare approved, so it's a whole like giant battle right now. Yeah, there's a lot of people, I just think it's for.
Other things you wanna name? No?
It's that one, and then second Saturday, that was the big thing.
Okay. Any other questions for Eduardo? No. Okay. Any other community updates?
I'd like to share.
Okay, great.
So some of you have mentioned, Metro Water Recovery. We are your region's wastewater utility. We steward the South Platte River, and we're just doing like a river cleanup, park cleanup. So there's a save the date on the table over there. We've been looking at going to Globeville Landing or Northside Park, or even Argo Park, which is close enough to the river. It's really up to the community. So we've got a quick poll out asking people, where do we want to go? It's a ways away. It's not till June 13th, which I know is a second Saturday, but we are starting at 9. So if you want to pop in, have some coffee, get a breakfast burrito, clean up some trash with us, and then we'll all head on over to the market. That'll be Saturday, June 13th. So it's just kind of a save the date. And then at the next meeting, I'll bring the event flyer. And if you want to volunteer, or just show up and say hi, you're welcome to join. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other announcements?
Yeah, just a few things real quick. So Focus Points has we're at their Bond Farmers Market that starts up in June. If there's any organizations or vendors that are interested in tabling at those markets, please just reach out to Focus Points. You have an application, you can pick what dates you'd like to be there. And then we also have a summer camp that we're gonna be hosting this summer. We're not at the point where we're recruiting yet, but that will be coming soon. And we're expecting to be able to host about 40 teenagers for about 3 weeks each. So 2 cohorts of 20 students each for 3 weeks. So please keep that in mind too. That will be free.
And a 3-year-old?
I'm sorry.
And a 3-year-old?
A bunch of teenagers in the 3-year-old. I think it's like focused primarily 14 to 18-year-olds.
That's not one.
And you said 3 different camps?
So it's 2 cohorts, they're each 3 weeks long, they'll each have about 20 students, and that's in like spanning across July through August, pretty much. So we'll be sending that flyer out, sometime soon, I think in the next like month or 2, to start grouping, and that'll really just be a first come first served basis.
Any other announcements?
Jay, did you want to talk about running the show for for Market at the Center?
I mean, I think you covered most of it, but yeah, sure, so. We are going to have, let's see, we've got a variety of free activities, so. There's gonna be a DIY bee bath activity where you decorate a little bee bath and essentially becomes a watering source for our pollinators. So it'll be something nice that you can take home. We've got wildflower seed packets that you take. These are all native wildflowers in Colorado, and you take a variety of them, put them in a seed packet, and then there's gonna be different paints and stamps and woodblock prints that you can decorate it. We'll have a bouquet bar. Actually, I think Spur, you guys might be doing a bouquet bar as well too. I'm not sure if you guys have confirmed that or not.
We confirmed it.
No, okay, all right, well, there'll at least be one outside, so we've got that going on. Some other crafts for the kiddos. These are all free activities, guys, and then we'll have music. We'll have music from a couple of musical artists, and then also Katrina with Stacey Music Lab is gonna be giving a chance for some of her students to perform as well, and
I think that about covers it, so,
Yeah.
yeah, we've got the music, we've got the crafts, and a lot of great vendors and organizations, and, yeah, the music that's gonna be out. Oh, and of course, on the music side, we've got, I think Armando with Latin All Stars, that's gonna be rocking over at the riverfront.
He's ready.
Alright.
Hey. All right, is there, we always have time for public comment. Does anybody have public comment? No, well, we made it exactly 1 minute early in our closing, so I want to
You
thank
didn't
you
think we
all.
were gonna make it?
Well,
Well, you know, the questions made me took us up. They were all good questions.
great.
Thanks for discovering the technical difficulties.
It was
Yeah.
Armando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo tengo una pregunta. Ahora que estamos tocando, I have a question. Ahora que estamos tocando puerta en puerta, me preguntaron que si iban a hacer lo de los árboles, que iban a regalar árboles. Now that we've been knocking on doors, people have been asking about the trees, if we were going to do the same thing, if trees are going to be, given away. Que la persona quiere árboles en su casa.
I can talk about this a little bit. So Denver Days was just this last weekend. We distributed over 1,000 trees across the city. We did not do the specific logo of the GES push that we've done in the past. But there are still opportunities where I saw Doug, Denver Urban Gardens is doing some low cost trees and shrubs, different options. And I believe that Birdseed is gonna be doing some shrubs and understory things like some planter boxes. So if there are trees that you're specifically looking for, let me know. I can give you my contact info and I can, if we have leftover trees from our distribution this last weekend.
No quiere un árbol especial, sino que quiere nomás 2 arbolitos en su casa, es una señora ya mayor. And this is an old lady, and she is not looking for a specific kind of tree, she just wants to have 2.
Do you want to give me her contact information and I can reach out to her directly?
We'll get your information and then.
Sure.
Yeah, and I can text.
Okay, thank you.
Your information.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Is there a? Is there a?
Again.